From Bodrum, we're flying to Sicily, our next island to explore. We land at Catania on the east coast of Sicily. Our destination is the resort town of Taormina, perched on the hillside 820 feet above the Mediterranean. Looming over the town at the summit, 490 feet higher, is the ruins of a Saracen fort. Our hotel is the Belmont Grand Hotel Timeo, which traces its lineage to a 5-room guest house in 1863. By 1906, a grand hotel emerged with 72 rooms. The hotel was visited by emperors, kings, and grand dukes of the European courts who wanted to spend winter in a warm climate. D.H. Lawrence lived at the Timeo from 1920 to 1924 and wrote Lady Chatterley's Lover here. Next to the hotel is the Greek Theater, the second largest of its kind in Sicily, with a diameter of 358 feet. A stage crew is setting up for a concert tonight. The plan and arrangement of the theater is Greek, but the fired red bricks are of Roman origin. So the present structure was rebuilt by the Romans on the Greek foundations, probably in the 2nd century. Then it's time for a gourmet dinner back at the hotel. And for entertainment tonight, we have 3 tenors. In the morning, we meet our guide at the trailhead of the Cassione Monte Pomiciara Trail. We hike through a forest of European beech. Mt Etna broom is endemic to Sicily and Sardinia. And here's what we're looking for: a view of Mt Etna. A little further on and we get a clearer view of the 10,912-foot active volcano. Unfortunately, the valley below is socked in. Mt Etna is one of the world's most active volcanoes. The fertile volcanic soils support extensive vineyards and orchards spread across its lower slopes. We take some selfies to prove that we were here, and then head down through the forest back to the trailhead. We're visiting the Barone di Villagrande vineyards on the slopes of Mt Etna. We taste some wines and hear about the vineyards, which have been in the family for 10 generations, starting in 1727. In the barrel room, we find out how wine is made in Sicily. Now to taste the wine paired with local specialties for lunch. Then back to Taormina. We're on our own tonight to explore the town. The Corso Umberto is the main street of Taormina and full of tourists strolling. The main square of the town, Piazza Nove Aprile, is anchored by the Church of San Giuseppe, built in the second half of the 17th century. More recent bars and restaurants catering to the tourist fill the rest of the square. In the morning, we're visiting Syracuse and its archaeological park. The first section of the park is the Paradise Quarry, an ironic name considering it was worked by slaves and prisoners of war. You can see the tool marks on the quarry walls. This cave is called the Ear of Dionysus. It's 75 feet tall. Because of its shape, the guards could hear every word spoken by their prisoners. On the other side of the hill from the quarry is the Greek Theater. Built in the 5th century BCE, it can seat 15,000 people. It's one of the largest theaters in the Greek world and the largest in Sicily, with a diameter of 455 feet. And not far from the Greek Theater is the Roman amphitheater. Gladiators entered the arena via this opening. Now to modern Syracuse, a city of 125,000 inhabitants. with a lot of interesting windows, doors, and balconies, at least to a photographer. Interspersed in the modern city are antiquities. This is the Temple of Apollo, built in the 6th century BCE. It's the oldest Doric temple in Sicily. We dive into the narrow, twisting streets of Ortigia, the oldest part of modern Syracuse. On the way, we turn a corner and piazzas with fountains appear. It's the Don Camilla restaurant for lunch, and it tastes as good as it looks. Then back through the streets of Ortigia Island, so named because the island is shaped like a quail. There are some interesting photographs in the streets. Syracuse Cathedral was built in the 7th century on the site of the Temple of Athena, built 1,200 years earlier. Doric columns from the temple were incorporated into the cathedral. The City Hall of Syracuse shares the Piazza Duomo with the cathedral. The Church of the Jesuit College is another architectural gem. The Baroque church was built in 1635. The Syracuse Postal Building was completed in 1929 and now houses a luxury hotel. We would be remiss if we didn't mention this favorite son, Archimedes of Syracuse, a mathematician, physicist, engineer, and astronomer. Back in Taormina, the clouds have cleared for a great view of Mt Etna. In the morning, we're back at Catania Airport with Mt Etna in the background. We board our plane for the next island to explore.